My name is Ville Saarikoski and I teach e-business. You could say how to make money on the internet. A good place to start would be to get a good book on e-business. However, this book, for example, E-Business and E-Commerce Management, Strategy, Implementation and Practice by Dave Shafi is a very, very good book, and I use it in the background, and it's also a good book for the student to read. However, in my course, I also go to the basics of what is the information economy. But first I have this framework here, and I use this framework to understand what is happening in building the information society. First of all, you have the individual who needs to understand how to work with these new tools. The individual will build a market. The enterprise will react to this emerging market, change the way it operates. It will also use internet-based tools to become more competitive. So we have the individual, we have the enterprise, but one should not forget the society. When the society is going from the industrial economy to the information economy, it needs to change its laws. So it is a triangle of the individual changing his or her ways, the enterprise taking on board new tools, and the society reacting to this change by implementing, for example, new laws. Now, this is the way my course goes. The first step I take is how is information different to physical goods? How do you make money with information compared to the way you make money with physical goods? That is the first step we take. The information economy is also known as the network economy. So what happens in a network? With physical goods, I normally sell for example, a car to a certain person. It's a one-to-one trade. But with information, you quite often have networks. Also with physical goods, you have networks. So what happens when you have a very, very simple network? How do you create value and how do you capture value? Then we combine these two, information and network, and what do we get? We get the information network, which is the internet. Now, this is a huge network with millions and millions of nodes. So when you look at it from this level, what I like to talk about at this level is, for example, the concept of 6 degrees, how actually tiny the internet is, the concept of the long tail, how do you make money using the idea of the long tail, and then thirdly, since there is a huge amount of communication capacity, a huge amount of storage capacity, the logic of making money changes. You go to the logic of not unique resources, but the logic of sharing. And relating to this, you have the dilemma of the commons and how do you start to share. Then from this bottom framework, if you like, we go into how do you build and how do you identify the areas where you could build new businesses. One of my favorite theories is the theory of disruptive innovation. Another is Henry Chesbrough and his ideas of open business model and how the concept of open services. So we look at these from as an innovation tools which will help you to build new businesses. Essential to a new business is identifying the business model of that new business. Especially in the internet economy, this is important because you can actually compete with a free product or by giving a free product or service to your customer. So how do you compete against free if somebody is providing free what you are providing for money. In connection of this, we talk about mesh business, and also we talk about information intensive versus knowledge intensive businesses. From this, we take a slightly different perspective and we go into the tools. You could also look at how to use tools to build these businesses. So for example, the enterprise resource planning system, the CRM, the customer relationship management system, the web shop, and all of these new tools which are emerging. And finally, instead of looking at just building a business, we look at how to build completely new markets. So the perspective of building a new market versus the perspective of just changing your own business. So by going through these steps, hopefully I have given you an idea of what e-business really means and what its potential is.